All right, let's dive right into one of the biggest, most mind-bending questions you can ask. Is any of this real, or are we all living inside some kind of impossibly advanced video game?
You know that feeling, right? When something just seems off, like a little hiccup or a glitch in the matrix, a crack in the everyday reality you take for granted. I'm talking about things like déjà vu, that super weird sensation that you have absolutely lived this exact moment before, or those strange coincidences that are just a little too perfect to be chance. And then there's the really big one that's got everyone talking, the Mandela effect. Now, the Mandela effect isn't just you forgetting something. This is the truly bizarre part. We're talking about huge groups of people, thousands of them, who all share the exact same, very specific, but totally false memory. It's like a shared memory from a timeline that never happened.
Think about these for a second. Do you remember the Berenstain Bears with an EIN? So many people do, but check the book. It's always been BAIN. Or what about the most famous line in Star Wars? Everyone quotes Luke, "I am your father." But if you watch the movie, the line is actually, "No, I am your father." The whole thing is named after Nelson Mandela because a shocking number of people remember him dying in prison back in the 80s. So, what if these aren't just mistakes? What if there's signs that our reality has been edited? This leads to a pretty wild explanation, the simulation hypothesis. The idea is basically this: our whole physical reality, everything from the biggest galaxies to the smallest atoms inside you, isn't the real world. It's actually an incredibly detailed, computer-generated simulation.
And don't just write this off as science fiction. This quote comes from a leading figure in the tech world. It shows just how seriously this idea is being taken. Some of the smartest people on the planet think the odds are actually in favor of us being in a simulation. A 1 in a billion chance we're not. Wow! You know, what's funny is this idea that our world isn't base reality isn't new at all. Look on the left. Thousands of years ago, Plato was talking about us being like prisoners in a cave, only seeing shadows of a truer reality. Eastern philosophy calls the world Maya, an illusion. Now look on the right. Modern physicists are describing a universe that's fundamentally made of information, running on rules just like a computer program. It's the same core idea, just with different language. But come on, how could anyone build a whole reality? Well, think about the progress we've made with our own video games. In the 70s, we had Pong, simple pixels. By the 90s, we had basic 3D worlds. A decade ago, we had massive online universes with millions of people playing together. And today, we have virtual reality that's getting so photorealistic, it's hard to tell apart from the real thing. Now imagine a civilization that's 1,000 or 1,000,000 years ahead of us. Creating a reality like ours might not just be possible for them, it might be inevitable. Okay, so if we're living in a simulation, you'd expect to find some evidence, right? Some clues left behind in the code. Well, what if the laws of physics themselves are the clues? What if our universe is running on the same kinds of shortcuts and optimization tricks that a video game developer would use? The parallels here are just mind-blowing. In games, graphics are made of pixels, while some physicists theorize that space-time itself might be pixelated, made of tiny, indivisible units. Video games save processing power by only rendering what the player is looking at. And in our universe, we have the observer effect in quantum physics. This bizarre phenomenon where reality only seems to become solid and definite when we look at it. And that last one, lazy evaluation. Oh, that leads to the weirdest piece of evidence of all. This brings us to a real-world experiment that seems to prove that the present can change the past. It's called the delayed choice experiment. And honestly, it turns everything we think we know about time completely on its head. Okay, I'm gonna simplify this, but hang with me. First, imagine light from a super distant star that's been traveling for billions of years to reach us. On its way, millions of years ago, it passes a huge galaxy and is forced to choose a path, go left or go right. You'd think that choice was made millions of years ago, right? Wrong. Here's the kicker. The experiment shows the path choice is not decided then. It is only decided right now when scientists on Earth finally set up their equipment to observe which path it took.
Yeah, let that one sink in. Our choice to look at something today seems to retroactively decide what happened millions of years ago.
It's as if the universe didn't bother to render that part of the story until a player decided to look. That is the ultimate lazy evaluation.
So, if this place is a game, then what does that make us? Who are we in this grand design? Are we the ones holding the controllers, or are we just part of the program?
There are two big possibilities, and they come straight from gaming. One, we could be player characters, or PCs. Think of the Matrix. We're a real consciousness from outside the game, jacked in to have this experience, but we've forgotten where we came from. The other option, we could be non-player characters, or NPCs. We're just incredibly sophisticated bits of AI, part of the simulation's code, programmed with thoughts and feelings so complex that we are absolutely convinced we're real.
The science fiction writer Philip K. Dick was talking about this way back in 1977. He said, "We are living in a computer-programmed reality." But the second part of his quote is what's really spooky. He says, "Our only clue is when some variable is changed and an alteration in our reality occurs." So let's connect the dots. What if déjà vu isn't just a brain hiccup? What if it's a flicker of memory from a previous run of the simulation? Maybe the game was reset and we're playing it again. And the Mandela effect? What if that's what happens when the programmers release a patch? They update the code, change a variable, and a few of us are left with lingering memories of the old version.
Okay, let's just pause for a second. Let's really entertain this. What if it's true? What does that actually mean for us? How should we live our lives if we're inside the great simulation?
You might think this sounds depressing, but maybe it's the opposite. It just reframes everything. The laws of physics, they're just the rules of the game engine. Miracles and weird glitches, maybe that's the system bugging out. Or maybe it's the game administrators stepping in. And consciousness, it's not some random biological fluke, it's the whole point. We're the players. Which might mean the purpose of life is exactly what it is in any good RPG. To learn things, to grow, to face challenges, and ultimately, to level up. So in the end, this whole hypothesis doesn't take away meaning or free will. It actually puts it right at the center of everything. It leaves us all with one massive personal question. If this is all a game, how do you want to play? Now, if you want to go way deeper down this rabbit hole and explore every part of this, from the quantum mechanics to the computer science, the complete guide is in the audiobook The Simulation Hypothesis by Rizwan Virk. We've put a link for you right in the description below.